asking. Remember, we talked about point number 3, mistake number 3 was that coaches aren't asking early enough for a decision. And those of us who are married remember the emotion, the planning, the questioning. Okay, is this when we ask for the commitment from the person we're going to marry, and all the things that went into that, and it's scary. And I think that in the same way, coaches are a little bit scared of asking because I think they feel if I ask this athlete for a commitment, it's going to be something that they could say no to, and I'm going to pressure them and I'm going to ruin the whole thing. It was my fault because I asked too soon. What we find, as similarly to many marriage proposals, the other person was waiting. They just wanted to be asked. And where this is important is we see what we see happening through this coronavirus, and especially now this fall, hearing that the NCAA has pushed back in-person recruiting until the first of the year 2021, it messes up the plans of recruits. Last spring, recruits who were positioning to have a great spring club season, go into the fall travel ball season, whatever that was, and they were waiting on all these decisions. Well, when all that got canceled, when their club teams weren't traveling anymore, when the NCAA said no more visits, do you know what happened? What happened was, similarly, when we went to grocery stores and people were panic buying toilet paper and hoarding that, we had kids jumping in and saying, okay, coach, I know I said I was going to wait for spring. I'm not going to do that anymore. I want in. In other words, I want that scholarship. I want that opportunity. And so in the coaches that we worked with, the early advice that we were giving them is you need to go ask these prospects to commit because they're panicking. They don't have any other alternatives. And we've sometimes forced coaches to get out of their comfort zone. The ones who did had these incredible classes that got signed. And these kids that maybe they normally would have lost, they were panicked. They just wanted to place the security. And now they're coming to those schools. And I think what I want an athletic director watching this to understand is that your coaches need permission, and they really need some accountability from you and some pushing from you to make sure that they go out and they are opening the door by asking for a commitment if they feel that this is an athlete that they want earlier versus later. Because what's going to happen this year, let's assume that, knock on wood, that they open it up and you have in-person recruiting again on January 1st. Well, then great. There's this flood of action that's going to happen then in the winter and early spring. What if it doesn't happen though? That's the thing that's driving the what ifs on the prospect side. And so already we're starting to see earlier than normal fall commitments. Without asking, you don't get those. And the bigger picture of this that I want to run through very, very quickly is there's a certain process, there's a certain step order of things that we've identified that athletes have told us, here's how we want to go through this process. When we ask athletes, okay, so how should coaches go through this? If there's a right order, walk us through what that order is. And they've done that. And I want to just, again, very quickly go through this is one of the training segments that we typically do when we go and train an athletic department and their staff on how to do this. I'll go really quick though, just to give you a good sense and get to my main point at the end. Job number one, they say at the beginning of the process, coaches, to get us to pay attention. You have to do something in the way that you're interacting with us, proving that you want us, get us to pay attention at the very beginning. We need a reason, especially if you're a small college and I haven't heard from you before and I don't know what your brand identity is and I don't see you on ESPN, don't know anybody whoever has gone there. I need a reason to pay attention to you. The second thing they want us to do, step number 2 in their world, is I need to be asked for a reply. I don't know if I should talk to you as a coach. You're intimidating. I don't know anything about you. I don't know what to talk about. Those of us who have teenagers at home, we know how that mindset works is, Dad, unless you tell me to do it, I don't know how I should do it. So you need to ask them for a reply. When you ask them to take action after that, it's proof in their world that you want them, that you're serious about them. So we have to demonstrate something that happens when it comes to action to take. What then happens is that as this momentum gets created, they sort of pump the brakes a little bit and say, whoa, okay, this little college I've never heard of, or the D1 I'm not sold on, whatever it is, I feel myself getting drawn to them. That's exciting, but I'm going to stop because I don't know that I can trust them. There's a huge lack of trust between prospects and coaches that they're getting to know, because I've heard all the horror stories as a prospect of how coaches have tricked players into committing and signing, and I don't want to be that prospect. So coaches need to prove that they can be trusted. And there's a lot of different ways to do that, which we don't have time to get into today, but they need to do something that proves that they can be trusted. And many times consistency answers that question. So kind of is a nice crossover there. Step number 5, coach, you need to tell us what to do. If you need something, what is it? When do I do something? Do I come to campus? I need direction. I need a plan. The other thing, and which happens at the end, towards the end of the process, is now I'm ready to spend a lot of time interacting with you. Not at the beginning. And this is one of the major differences between coaches and prospects is coaches want good contact at the beginning. I want the hour-long phone calls right at the start so we can get to know each other. And for prospects, they have this slow ramp up that happens then at the end. Now I want to spend time interacting with you. Coaches tell us all the time, it's incredible. I bring them to campus, they meet our team, and then after that, that's when all the good stuff really starts. That's the mindset of a team. And again, if you don't understand that, you front load all this information and it doesn't stick. Whereas if you even it out over a longer period of time and expect the good stuff at the end and plan for that, then you have successful recruiting. And the 7th point, the last point that they take us through in these focus groups that we do, is after all that, now their advice to a coach is, coach, so if you're doing all that, ask us if we want to be on your team. Without you as the coach asking, they wait. And what my fear is, the mistake that's being made is a lot of coaches then wait as well. So you have the coach waiting, the athlete waiting. Guess what happens? Nothing. Except eventually one of your competitors jumps in and says, hey, we want you. Oh, okay, I'll come there. And then your coach, or you, if you're the coach, does their bi-weekly call with the athlete, checking in, how's everything going? Well, coach, I just committed to that coach over there. What? I thought you were interested in us. I was, but they asked, or they said I needed to make a decision, and so I did that. There's an incredible amount of pressure right now on athletes that this whole situation has put them under. And coaches have to be the leaders. Coaches have to be the ones to say, here's how you do it. I want you, and are you feeling like you're ready to commit? So the asking part is critical. If your coaches or you as a coach aren't asking for the commitment, nothing is going to happen. And understand that the attitude that that most of your prospects have is a little bit of panic and fear that all this planning they've done over high school and club and all the personal training they've gotten isn't going to pay off in an opportunity at college. And that terrifies them, and they're going to run to the coach that gives them the first opportunity. And that's what we see happening already this fall. We saw it in mass last spring, and that's something that we want to try to have coaches avoid. So those are.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to get more great sports branding videos from Hartwell Studio Works, hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen.